Okay, welcome back. And if you can hear that traffic noise, then that tells us that we are approaching Interstate 80, which is where the Delaware River Viaduct makes its crossing from the eastern side here in New Jersey over towards the western side over near Slateford junction in Pennsylvania. So we're actually crossing over Simpson Road right now, which has its own little concrete overpass or tunnel or road culvert, whichever term you would like to use. That's what this is right here. So I'm sure that I'm sure there's a date stamp on that. Probably 1910, maybe 1911. So I actually made this journey yesterday because I wanted to scope out how easy or difficult it would have been to get to where we're about to be, and it was not difficult at all. I would have to assume that this gets used by dirt bikes and ATVs in the summertime. So who owns present-day Lackawanna Cutoff? From what I understand, it's the state of New Jersey owns the lion's share of it, obviously in New Jersey. There's not a huge amount of it in Pennsylvania, but I believe that is owned by the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation and the Northeast Pennsylvania Regional Railroad Authority, if I'm not mistaken, has some claim to it too. Okay, so here we go. We are now walking on the Delaware River Viaduct with Interstate 80 passing beneath us. You will see these manhole covers here. That leads you down into the inner workings of the bridge. We will not be going down there because I'm already the guy walking across the bridge. I don't want to be the guy walking through the bridge too. It'll probably end poorly for me. So just so you can see, we zoom in on them road signs. Portland, PA, not far from here. Just on the other side of the river down that way. So who abandoned this fine railroad project? Well, it was Conrail. I believe official abandonment was in 1979. And then I think they let the tracks sit for a few years before they ripped them up in either 83 or 84. And I know Conrail was dealt a bad hand, but boy, did they rip a lot of stuff up that maybe just didn't need to be ripped up right away. I don't know. That's not for me to decide because, well, I didn't own Conrail, so it really doesn't matter what I think about it. So off in the distance, that is Delaware Water Gap. What I find interesting about this particular span is that even though it crosses the giant Delaware River here, it's actually one of the smaller of the viaducts that were built by the Delaware, Lackawanna, and Western. The Tunkhannock Creek and the Martins Creek Viaduct are both larger than this particular one we're walking on now, yet they only go over tiny little creeks. This is the large Delaware River right here, but it didn't require such a large span. Probably due to the valley just not being so high on the east and west sides of the river. We're not going to get an actual view of the underside of the bridge or a side view, but those views are available. I'm not going to be climbing down anywhere today. I'm going to just stay on the bridge and then make my way back to where we started our day, which is actually a place called Tunnel Park. And that's got a little bit of interesting history, but we'll get to that when we get there. This view of the gap is really something. Wishing it wasn't so hazy, but we're in that time of year. Gray December. It'll be like this until March, probably. So if I'm not mistaken, we're actually close to where the cutoff would have ended at Slateford Junction. And I believe it would have then hopped back on the original, what they call the old grade, the original Delaware, Lackawanna, and Western line, which, funny enough, is still active. And the large Lackawanna Cutoff that they built to make the old grade less necessary, you know, that still exists. Yet this large project was abandoned, which I find awfully interesting. Now, not all of the old road exists. There's lots of it that's abandoned. But right here, this bridge that we're on is going to cross over the old grade, and it is still active. Now, I'm not exactly sure who owns or operates that. It could be Norfolk Southern, or it could be the modern day Delaware Lackawanna, based out of Scranton. I think they're based out of Scranton. It's either one. I think it's one of those two railroads that operate. And crossing this now makes 3 of the 4 viaducts that we have actually, well, I've crossed 3. I didn't film myself crossing the Tunkhannock Creek, but I was up on top of it. But we've also done the Martins Creek and now Delaware River Viaduct. So all we gotta do is get to the Polandskill, and then we will have all 4 of them checked off our list. So there's the old grade down there. That's Slateford Road right behind it. We'll go stand above those. So again, I know this is nothing new or super exciting. I'm sure a lot of you have already seen a video relating to this, but I wanted to take my stab at it, and I just wanted to have my feet on this bridge. So mission accomplished, and I'm glad you all came along with me. Actually, I have a tie right there. There's a lot of ties in place right here. Snow's hiding a lot. Back where we came from, there's tons of ties back there too. There's a lot of ties remaining. Now this was double tracked from at the beginning, and then cut down to a single track, and then obviously abandoned altogether. But you used to get steam trains doing a good 70 miles an hour along the Lackawanna Cutoff because it was just so straight. There were no grade crossings. It was all either they went over roads or under roads. From what I understand, there were no grade crossings along the Lackawanna Cutoff. So that's your old grade right there. That's the original Delaware, Lackawanna, and Western route on its way up to Scranton. And what we're standing on was built to replace that. Yet, there she still is. And Slateford Road right there. Slateford Junction off in this way, off this area somewhere. Okay, well now we're back in Pennsylvania. It's always fun when you can do that, 2 states in one video. And we have come to the western side, and I'm now going to stop the video and I'm going to head back. And when we meet up again, I'll have some interesting things about the Lehigh New England Railroad that pertains to the Lackawanna Cutoff as well. I'll see you when we get there.